Well, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And you guys, today we are getting super, super real. We are at Alton Baker Park. This is Lauren Hatmaker with Eugene Mortgage Brokers.
Yes.
And Eugene Mortgage Brokers, you guys are really into veterans.
Veterans are our passion.
Why?
My dad is a Navy veteran, my brother is a Marine, and many people that I love are veterans who suffer from PTSD.
So when I called up Lauren, I met her and an associate, James Korth, at a meeting, a BNI meeting a while back, and they were talking about veteran stuff, and this came up. A friend of mine who you're going to meet in a second is a biker out of Albany, and his name's Stacy, and he told us about a ride that's going on this weekend that is absolutely phenomenal. And so we're going to meet them, talk with them, show you guys kind of what's going on. And they're expecting over 300 bikes, and they're all riding up to Washington State. This is about PTSD. This is about veterans who take their own lives because of PTSD. If you know a veteran or you know somebody like that, would you toss this to their page, share it right now? Because this is super. I'm already a little bit emotional, and we've just been talking and going in here. So Lauren's here she's sponsoring the show with us, and we're going to talk to some folks and find out about PTSD and find out a little bit more about Kevin. So come this way, come over here. Stacy, come here, come here, come here. Okay, this is Stacy.
Hello.
And Stacy used to live in Eugene, right?
Yes, I did.
So he watches the show, said, Rick, we want to get the word out about this event. So tell me who you are with and what you guys went, kind of how this all started.
Well, I'm actually personally with Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, which is an association that's across the United States. And what we do is we stand up and we raise money and we do things for veterans that kind of slip through the cracks. Unfortunately, there's a few of us out there. So that's our primary goal, is to help veterans. 29 is our state number, and I'm from Chapter 4. I have another gentleman with me who I'll introduce here in a minute. He's from Chapter 2. They've got a chapter here in Springfield. And what we do is all the money we raise goes to Oregon vets. It doesn't go to somebody in Texas or something like that. So as far as the silent ride, this was actually the brainchild of a gentleman named Joy Taylor, who had a really, really close friend named Kevin Ross, who was a sergeant in the military, and you'll hear a little bit about him from his father, who passed in 2014 due to suicide secondary to PTSD. Unfortunately, that was a big loss for Joy. He spent a lot of time going up to this place called Stonehenge, which is a military memorial just on the Washington side across from 84. And he would go up there and think about his father and think about his grandfather, and he started going up there and he started thinking about Kevin. And so the first year after Kevin passed, Joy put out the word to all of his friends. He's got a lot of friends and a lot of bikers that he was going to do a memorial ride for Kevin Ross. And he subsequently did that year. And so 2015 had the ride. 2016 he had the second annual ride. The numbers doubled. It went from 100 people to roughly almost 300 people the second one. This is our third year. We're looking to double that as well. This is also the cap of Pendleton Bike Week, which is going on in Pendleton starting tomorrow. And then at the Pinnacle on Saturday, we will take a bunch of riders from there, come down to Biggs Junction off of 84, and then go across the river into Washington and meet up at Stonehenge.
So 19, the new statistic is 19 veterans a day.
Yes, sir, down from 22, which is a good thing. However,
kill themselves.
Yes, sir.
A lot of it's PTSD.
PTSD. They teach us a lot how to take lives and how to engage the enemy. They don't do a whole lot of work on teaching us how to deal with our own moral issues that we have from doing something like that. So, a lot of guys don't really know how to deal with it. It can manifest itself in anything from depression, no sleeping, restless, always on edge, having a hypersense of anxiety. It can manifest in many different ways. A lot of guys just look at it as, I'm jacked up, I'm wired up, but it's actually a PTSD, and if they don't get help, it can cause them to go to that point.
And the education is the key.
Education is the key.
Getting people to know this is normal.
Yeah.
This is how you're going to feel, and you need to get some people to help.
Exactly. Yeah. PTSD is a kind of a flippant word that's thrown around from somebody who didn't get their way sometimes, but the true reality is PTSD is a serious condition.
Real thing.
And it really does affect a lot of people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in combat, firefighters, police, anybody that deals with a traumatic incident can have PTSD, and it's just a long-lasting effect. You don't know how to deal with it, and your body deals with it in other ways.
Okay.
Making you depressed.
Why is this such a big deal that you called me and said, I want to talk to people. I want people to know about this. Why is that such a big deal, Stacy?
Because we have guys that go over and they'll put themselves in danger for our country, and they come back and they fall through the cracks. Our VA system, which I might add is a government-run medical system, and there is too many guys that need help, and they're not getting it from VAs. It's not that they're not trying. Unfortunately, too many young men are taking their lives for no reason.
God,
that they should be helped.
Yeah, this is horrible.
It's sad.
So,
that's a lot of lives lost.
There's somebody back here. I tell you, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to do this very bad. Come here, Dad. I'm already like about to lose it. Okay, so you are.
I'm John Ross.
And so you're Kevin's dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh God.
Tell us about Kevin.
Yeah. Thanks.
How old would he be today?
He would be 30 in November. He died when he was 27.
And which branch did he serve?
He was in the Army. He was cavalry. He spent a lot of time driving the world's most sophisticated tank, and then wound up driving a Humvee and watching one of his good friends
get killed.
Did he lose his friend?
Yeah. So he never got over that.
Correct.
And as a dad, to watch that, what's that like?
Kevin was 18 when he went in the Army. Young kid, pretty innocent, very sensitive, loved animals. Came back a different kid, a different person. He became a man. His eyes spoke a lot about how he felt.
His eyes.
The pain he was going through, yeah.
What does that mean? As a dad, what did you see?
I saw pain and just pain and anger. He had pretty merry eyes. I mean, when you see pictures of him and people who talk about him before he went to the Army, you can see the difference just in how he looked at people.
He wasn't the same kid when he came back.
No, not at all. He still had his personal characteristics of, caring, sensitive, but he also was fearful. He, as Stacy had mentioned, all the things that Stacy talked about, PTSD. He was a hermit. He didn't go out very much anymore. He didn't hang out with a lot of different people. He started riding his motorcycle, which I ride now, and in fact, I ride it for throttle therapy, it's called. Kevin rides with me when I ride.
Yeah. That makes you feel close to him.
Yeah, it's Kevin's bike. I just get to use it now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So go ahead.
What are some of the things that Kevin liked to do?
Well, he, for those of you who are local, he loved local boys, Hawaiian food. He liked to ride. He had a dog. He had a dog named Ruger, a pit mix, and so that dog and he were inseparable. The dog had, I think the dog had PTSD as well, I think, and suffered from separation anxiety whenever Kevin was away from him. And we initially started a foundation in Kevin's name to try and talk with humane societies locally as well as vets to see if we could help people with PTSD, whether it's from military or otherwise, to get discounts and support, because we understand that animals are really helpful to help people with PTSD to get through it.
This ride, so what does that mean? I mean, I can only imagine. I can't even imagine, actually. But what does this mean to you? Because you go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is that like for you? Oh, my God.
Not sure I can get through that part. It's amazing to watch these 100, 200, 300 motorcycles riding, not for Kevin, but for the issue. And knowing that Kevin died, and we can use that as a learning tool for others. It's overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
Because we know so many others are still suffering.
Yes, yeah. And there's a lot of families out there who have dealing with the same issues that I'm dealing with because of their sons and daughters. We have a friend whose son was molested in a mall shopping center bathroom and suffers from PTSD. He's now 15, so we talk about him as well. But you know, it's not a military thing, although the military generates most of them. And to make sure that people understand that this is something that most people who have it don't talk about it very much and don't understand it themselves, and may not be getting help for it.
You know, I think that's what we're starting to learn in the world, is even people that struggle with depression and things like that. Right. It's like it's not the taboo thing it was.
Right.
I went on here one time and said, I struggle with depression. That's why I work out so much. It's my endorphins that kick me in and get me going. And I have people going, I can't believe you're talking about that. And I go, well, if you don't talk about it, who's going to get help for it?
You know, there was a lot of discussion in our family when we put Kevin's obituary in the paper, because we talked about why he died, what happened. And sometimes, you know, when you see the paper, you see some 20-year-old kid or 22-year-old kid die. They don't talk about why.
Right.
You're always thinking, well, maybe he killed himself or something, you know.
Right.
And also committing suicide also, to me, is a wrong thing to say as well. He chose to take his own life.
Right.
He didn't commit anything.
Right. And that's what I've learned, too, is I use that sentence all the time, and it's now death by suicide.
Yeah.
Because it's not committing. You're not committing.
Right. It's not like you're committing robbery or something, you know.
And we all have to learn the language, because it may not matter to you, it matters to them, and that's really what's important.
It's so brave that you were able to tell your story and not be ashamed, but to share, because Kevin is a beautiful part of your life, beautiful part of your family, and a beautiful part of our community. And so we're proud to hear his story and hear about him, and hopefully make a difference.
And thanks for making this opportunity.
By bringing something that was silent to light, so it doesn't have to be silent.
Okay, you guys don't go away, because I want you to talk a little bit about what you do real fast.
Yep.
And we'll get back to you guys. But you guys, we can't do this without people like Eugene Mortgage Brokers and Lauren Hatmaker. And so you guys specifically look for veterans to.
We do. My favorite thing to do all day, every day, if I could talk to veterans, is to help them find a house of their own and to get them into that house. We as a community benefit so much from what the things that they've done to sacrifice for us, and the VA benefit for a home loan is one of the few things that we do that's good. We could do so much more.
Right.
And so anything that I can do, whether it be just talking to somebody about their credit, figuring out what do they need to do to get into a home, and then get them the best loan that there is out there to buy a house. But one thing that we do in our community, we're very community minded. I grew up here. We're giving back to a local veteran, a Navy veteran, who just found out that he has congestive heart failure, Dave Jackson.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And he has to have a heart transplant. He's a 27-year employee of Guarantee, another locally owned company like we are. And he is the kind of friend that everybody would want to have. And he needs help. He was in the middle of projects in his house. He can't finish them. So we're coordinating, our staff, our friends, we're all coordinating to get those projects done and help him put his house on the market, because he can't take care of it anymore, and he has to get his heart replaced or repaired.
Okay, again, his name.
Dave Jackson, and if you look on Facebook, Dave Jackson's Tribe, there's ways to give back, whether it be financial, whether it be just coming and helping paint, doing little stuff around the house. We've got donations for yard cleanup. We've got somebody that's going to list his house. We just want him to not have to worry when he goes up and has his appointment at OHSU. We don't want him to worry about what's going to happen to his house and is he going to lose it.
So how do people find out more about, we know how to find out about him, but you can also give them that information. How do they get a hold of you?
EugeneMortgageBrokers.com, and we're on the corner of Coburg Road and Cal Young here in Eugene.
So if you know a veteran who's looking for a home, this is the woman.
Just wants to find out if they can do it. Even if it's 2 years, 10 years, 6 months, we want to help you figure out if it's something you want to do. We want to get you into a house.
All right. A shout out to all the wives who stood by their man. I did it for 42 years. He walked away. I'm sorry, Lucy. I'm really sorry about that. Stacey, come here, buddy. So how can people that aren't...
I figured
I would love to be a badass biker like you, but I'm just not. Now, I got to tell you, you guys, Lauren rode in on that scooter over there.
Big bad hog.
So I mean, okay, but don't laugh. That's her scooter, you know? She's like a badass biker, you know?
Two wheels.
But so what can people do if they can't go on the ride, but what can we all do?
The best thing you can do is spread the word of what PTSD is and look for the signs. You know, as Kevin's dad said, John, he knew something was different with Kevin. And unfortunately, a lot of vets, and I go to vets right away because I am one, I suffer from PTSD, a lot of the guys I know do. We feel lost when we get back because we had the camaraderie when we were in the service. Unfortunately, that disappears. That's why a lot of us ride bikes. And that's part of the reason we got CVMA, which is the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association. It gives us a place where we can talk with other vets. And we don't sit around and talk about war. It's nothing like that. It's getting out and getting the wind in our hair. In fact, we have a member here, Oki, who's a chapter commander. Yeah, wind in the hair. And the beard sticks straight out.
That is, I got to tell you, that is one heck of a beard.
Oh, thank you. It's getting a little gray, though,
you know,
unfortunately.
What's wrong with gray?
Hey, that's right.
I have an affinity for it.
If you'd like any more information on the combat vets or anything we do or anything we can do to help other vets, we have a chapter right here. The chapter commander, Oki. I'd like to bring him. Oki?
Oki, come here. You come here too, man. You guys showed up. Come over here. No, she said, okay, come here. Okay, Oki, come here.
This is our chapter commander in Springfield. His road name is Oki. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, I'm Mike Greenman. I'm Oki. I'm the 29-2 commander here in Eugene, Springfield. Like Stace says, we do everything we do is for vets, including ourselves. The reason I joined, I was in a bad place, going downhill, and saw a motorcycle going down the road, and looked up a patch and found these guys, and there I was. I belonged again, and good to go.
Is that part of the group? I mean, you know, all I experience is from war movies. You see movies and you realize afterwards you are so connected to people, and then you're so disconnected when you get back.
Here's a little story for that. I got a best friend. His name is Jeff Heath. He's a state trooper from Washington. We went to Corps school together, where we learned how to be corpsmen. We got stationed at Camp Pendleton together with the Marines. We ended up getting split up. He got sent to Somalia the first wave. I got sent the second wave. When I came back, he had left. I didn't talk to Jeff for about 10 or 15 years, and then one day out of the blue he called me up. He got a hold of my number, and it's like we never skipped a beat. He came down, and it's like we never lost touch. That kind of friendship you don't get unless you've been in combat or you've been in a place where you've been that close to, you know, possibly dying. And when you get out of the service, you don't have that anymore. And that's one of the biggest problems I see young vets coming out is they've got all this energy, they've got all this stuff they want to do, and they just seem lost. And so if I can say anything to you young vets, please talk to somebody. If you see one of our vests running around, you can't miss the vest. It's pretty blatant. If you see a vest, please pull us over, talk to us. If you see us at a store, at a restaurant, please feel free to say something to us, and we would be more than happy.
I got a question for you. So when I see a vet, sometimes I feel stupid, but I want to go, thank you for your service. But I feel like that, I feel kind of silly doing that.
Don't be a silly. You know, I'm an old monkey, so I don't do real well on Facebook. My kids got me into it, so I keep an eye on them. You know, and they're all in their 20s now. So I'm about as technically savvy as a monkey. So I'm going to tell you right now, I see a lot of posts on there where these vets are coming out saying, yeah, don't thank me, you know, by God, I did it because I love my country. You know what? Thank us.
Right.
It's nice to know that people do care, because unfortunately, we had such a long run there after Vietnam where people would just treat veterans like garbage. And
It makes us feel alone.
It makes us feel alone, makes us feel, you know, by ourselves. And if somebody comes up and says thank you, I'll be the first one to shake their hand and say thank you for that.
Somebody came on here earlier, and I'm not going to get the question exactly right, but they said local government doesn't consider PTSD like something that can be qualified. They don't get time off if they have PTSD.
I don't know about local governments. I do know that the federal government does take that into consideration. I worked at the VA for a few years. I'm actually going back to school into public health at OSU to really hammer that when I get out into the public sector. I know the federal government does take that into consideration. They do quantify it, they do qualify it,
okay.
And they do take, because it is a treatable disease, not a disease, it's a treatable condition. Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't talk real well.
No, that's okay.
So it is a treatable condition that can be treated and managed very, very well.
Okay, young buck, come here.
Oh, thanks.
You are?
Ryan Ness. I'm actually part of the chapter in Eugene here.
So you're 27.
No, I'm actually 29.
29. Still a baby.
face.
So how did you get? A lot of guys that are getting a little bit older than that. How did you? What do you find with these guys?
Brotherhood mainly. I didn't have that when I like Stacey said, when I came out. I didn't have that when I came out, and I was like looking around for like a group that I can actually relate to. Well, the CVMA actually gave that to me. Unlike having friends, it's like something you can actually do and relate to.
You know, it's almost, and I don't mean this to be trite, okay? So don't email me. But it's like if you go on an experience, like it reminds me when I was a kid, I went away to camp. You go on an experience, you come back, and you have this incredible thing that happens, and nobody else gets it because you're walking back into the old world where nothing is. So you've gone off and had this incredible experience with people who really care about you and fight for you. Come back into culture where we're not exactly like that, and that's got to be shell shock.
I wouldn't say it's shell shock, but it's more like you kind of need that structure, like when you're in, that you can actually have outside. It's like I was used to a certain structure inside, and I needed that outside in order to get me through on what I experienced.
That's cool. That's a good way to put it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for what you did too. You 29-year-old. All right, Dad, come here. So, parting words. What should we? What? Can I don't know if I should ask you this.
You can ask whatever you want. It's all right. I may not answer.
Because this is what I would want somebody to ask. What do you miss the most about your kid?
I thought a lot about that. Last year for his birthday, I posted something on Facebook. Wishing him a happy birthday. And talking about my regrets of him not being around, not seeing him into his next stage of his life that normally some 28-year-old would be at. And knowing that I'll never have the opportunity as a father to see him enjoying life and being successful at whatever he was going to do. So that's where I feel.
Okay, let's leave on an upper beat note, although that's the most important question of the day to me. To your daughter, what do you say about her big brother that puts a smile on your face, that you say, never forget this about Kevin? This is the thing you have to remember about Kevin.
I'm not going to share his nickname because he wouldn't like that, but I did share it with her. The whole time from the time she was able to communicate until he died, we joked about his nickname that he had got when he was 3 or 4 years old because of some things that happened over time. And it was a long nickname, and it was pretty humiliating for him in some ways. Funny for the rest of us. And so Tessa is her name, and the three of us would talk about his nickname that he would not share with her, and he said he would only share her with her when she turned 16. And it's kind of a little thing, but so after his death, I shared the nickname, and we had a really good laugh about that, and we talk about it once in a while. So again, it's not a big deal, but
those are the big deals. Yeah. It's the small deals.
Yeah.
Coach Jacob, who you just came on here, I saw you right on there, and thank you for admitting and coming on and saying, he's just said, thank you, Rick, because I deal with PTS every day and it's really hard. Thank you. I stopped saying I'm sorry because I think it's a way of not having to do anything. When you really care, I think you have to do something. So if you guys are out there and you have PTSD, please find someone to help you. If you're someone who doesn't, first of all, thank God, and then go do something for the people who don't. If it's a government system or a work system and you don't understand it, get educated. Don't judge. If somebody tells you they have PTSD, then they have PTSD. You silence your mouth and you just listen to what they have to say.
Yep.
Because you're not here, you're not the doctor. And you don't tell somebody like this that that's not the case. That's just not how it works anymore. So the ride,
Saturday.
it's Saturday, and there's going to be biker dudes and dudettes and everything. I'd say something else, but I should be good. I love bikers. I've had the best experience with bikers in my life all the time. So they're going to be going up there to Washington in honor to educate about PTSD, but honestly, it's really to honor your boy too, and to say it matters to all those people that end up taking their life. They still matter. They did matter, and they still matter.
Yes.
You know?
One of the things we'll do is we'll name off the names of every person that's taken their name
Yep.
at the monument.
So they're going to name off every person that they know of
Yep.
that has taken their life, and honor them by saying their name at that place. God, I don't know how do you make it through that ceremony?
I don't.
I'm glad.
Don't even try.
No, I would not even want to at all.
When's the group leaving from the Eugene area?
About 4 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 5 o'clock. We're leaving the Gateway Chevron.
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
5
on
a.m.
Saturday morning.
Saturday
Gateway
morning.
Chevron.
Gateway Chevron in Springfield. If you want to ride with them, can anybody go?
Yep,
Yeah.
we're going there. And
Anybody
also,
can go.
Also,
Even in your little
You're leaving
scooter.
Corvallis, Albany.
Corvallis, we're leaving from the freeway shell on 34 around 8 o'clock in the morning.
So you guys, the other thing you can do for these folks, first we want to thank you guys for coming down here and coming all the way out here. Lauren, Eugene Mortgage Brokers, you're all about veterans, and you just put your money where your mouth is, and they're sponsoring the show. And I mean, seriously, you guys, we set this up yesterday. I'm calling around, I'm running all over town trying to find a place we can get a signal from.
It's our time.
And
It's
Lauren
our
was
honor.
more than honored and happy to help sponsor this. But here's your job. Nobody gets off scot-free. So what you guys need to do is, it's so simple, just repost this to your page. Repost it to a veteran's page, to someone's page, because you don't know if somebody's dealing with PTSD and you have no idea that they are. And something that these folks have said may help them. And they may come on your page by accident, they may come on your page because they know you. You put it on their page, it just shows that you care about them. And the next time you go by someone and they are a veteran, even if they're not and you think they are, thank them. If you're embarrassed afterwards, that's your problem. Just leave it. But say something, because they did something that is pretty valuable to all of us. You know what I mean?
They fought for us.
And Coach Jacob, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Yeah. And you guys they're reposting it now. You guys are awesome. So thank you, Stacy. Come here, you guys. Get over here.
Yep.
Thanks again. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this
appreciate
for
it, Rick.
Kevin. And if you guys want to see more, go to it's Kevin Ross. It's on Facebook. There's a page on that that'll tell you
Kevin
more
Ross
about it.
Memorial Silent Ride.
All right.
And we'll have links from most of the CVMA website or Facebooks to that ride if you need any more information.
All right. Okay, you guys, have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow we're going with hungryducks.com, and we're going to try a new restaurant. That's going to be fun. And then Century Lighting on Thursday is taking us to the coolest recycling place for computers. And we're going to talk to Holt International about the wonderful things they do to bring children around the world to families like yours. So that's the week. You can't top this. And God, thank you so much. You are the bravest man I know. And
Thank you for being vulnerable and for sharing with us about
yeah, thanks for making me cry. It feels so good to feel for something real like that. You know what I mean? And I hope the rest of you feel the same way.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you for the
buddy.
time.
Yeah, thanks for coming down. All right, guys, pass it on.